I've spent weeks and weeks preparing this extensive guide on Peru for you. Home to ancient mysteries, vibrant cultures, and breathtaking landscapes, you're about to discover why Peru is one of the most captivating destinations in the world. Peru is a country of incredible diversity, offering something for every type of traveler. Imagine the soaring Andes Mountains with their snow-capped peaks, the lush and mysterious Amazon rainforest teeming with wildlife, and pristine Pacific beaches where you can relax or surf the waves. Peru's landscapes are some of the most breathtaking in the world. This country is also rich in history, home to ancient civilizations that existed long before the famous Inca Empire. From intricately engineered ruins like Machu Picchu to centuries-old traditions still alive today, Peru offers a fascinating journey through time. What truly makes Peru stand out is its incredible variety. With upwards of 90 microclimates, the country has one of the most diverse ecosystems on Earth. You can explore arid deserts, alpine highlands, and tropical jungles all in one country. Peru is the cradle of the Inca heritage, which blends beautifully with colonial Spanish influences to create unique architecture, customs, and festivals. Plus, Peruvian fusion cuisine is world-renowned, drawing flavors from indigenous traditions, Spanish, African, and even Asian influences. It's no surprise Lima has become one of the top foodie cities in the world. From its natural wonders to its rich heritage and culinary delights, Peru is a destination that will leave you amazed at every turn.
Machu Picchu is one of those places that you have to see at least once in your life. Perched high in the Andes Mountains, surrounded by clouds and steep green peaks, it feels like stepping into a completely different world. Whether you're into history, nature, or just taking amazing photos, this is a place that leaves everybody speechless. What's the best way to experience Machu Picchu? One of the most famous ways to get there is by hiking the Inca Trail. It's a 3 to 5 day trek that follows ancient paths the Inca people actually used. Along the way, you'll pass through breathtaking mountain scenery, ancient ruins, and dense forests. You're going to want a guide for this because it's a very tough but very rewarding hike. The Salcantay Trail is another route, and it's tougher than the Inca Trail, with higher altitudes and colder conditions. But the views are absolutely next level. It's a bit less crowded too, which is an added bonus. Now, if hiking isn't your thing, don't worry. You can still visit Machu Picchu by train and bus. It's a lot easier but just as magical when you finally see it in person. And you only need one day to see it all. For those who do decide to hike, here's an important tip. Pack smart. You'll definitely need good hiking boots, warm layers for the nights, something waterproof in case it rains, and definitely don't skip out on snacks or energy bars. High altitude sickness is real, so give yourself a day or two to acclimate before starting any trek. Lastly, try to get to Machu Picchu as early in the morning as possible. The crowds usually start pouring in by mid-morning, so if you can catch the sunrise, you'll not only feel like you have the place almost to yourself, but the light at that time makes the whole site even more stunning. Whether you hike there, take the train or bus, Machu Picchu is 100% worth the effort. It's not just a tourist destination, it's one of those places that will stay with you for the rest of your life. If you're going to Machu Picchu, you're probably going to have to start in Cusco, but Cusco is incredible in its own right. Cusco used to be the capital of the Inca Empire, so it's packed with history and culture at every turn. Walking through the cobblestone streets, you'll see this amazing blend of Inca foundations with Spanish colonial buildings stacked on top. My personal experience with Cusco was incredible, and I would love for you to enjoy it just as much as I did. Make sure to check out the plazas and markets while you're there. Plaza de Armas is the heart of the city, surrounded by gorgeous churches and colorful buildings. It's a great spot to just hang out and soak in the atmosphere. Don't miss the local markets like San Pedro Market, where you can try fresh juices, pick up souvenirs, or just get a taste of daily life in Cusco. If you're into the history of Peru, you have to visit the Coricanchu Temple. It used to be the most important temple of the Inca Empire, dedicated to the sun god. When the Spanish took over, they built a church right on top of it. But you can still see the original Inca walls. They're some of the best examples of Inca stonework in the city. Cusco is more than just a gateway. It's a destination on its own, so take your time to explore it. Next up on our journey through Peru is the Sacred Valley. The Sacred Valley is incredible, and if you're looking for something quieter than Cusco and less crowded than Machu Picchu, then you're in the right place.
This valley was super important to the Inca Empire because of its fertile land, and today, it's packed with history, amazing views, and some really unique spots you won't want to miss. One of the coolest sights here is the Moray Terraces. These circular terraces almost look like an amphitheater, but the Incas actually used them for farming experiments. They figured out how to grow crops at different temperatures and conditions. Pretty advanced stuff for their time. Then there's the Maris salt mines, where you'll see hundreds of salt pools built into the hillside. They've been harvesting salt here for over 500 years, and it's still done by hand. The peaceful vibe and stunning views of the mountains around the Sacred Valley make it the perfect place to slow down and soak everything in. It's great for history buffs, photographers, or anyone who just wants to get off the beaten path for a bit. Next up is Rainbow Mountain, or as it's called locally, Vinicunca. This place looks like something straight out of a painting. The mountain is covered in these stunning stripes of red, yellow, green, and even purple, all created naturally by the minerals in the soil. It's one of the most colorful spots you'll ever see, and one of Peru's most popular hiking destinations, right after Machu Picchu. Getting to Rainbow Mountain isn't super easy though. The hike is about 2-3 hours each way, and since it's at a high altitude, around 5,000 meters, you'll definitely feel it. That's why it's so important to acclimate before you go. Spend a couple of days in Cusco to get used to the altitude, stay hydrated, and take it slow on the trail. If hiking sounds like too much or you're worried about the altitude, you can rent a horse to take you most of the way up. It's a great option, especially if you want to save your energy for exploring the viewpoints. Either way, when you finally see the mountain, it's 100% worth the effort. Now that we've covered some of the iconic destinations in Peru like Machu Picchu, the Rainbow Mountain, the Sacred Valley, it's time to cover some of the more unique experiences this beautiful country has to offer, with some hidden gems along the way. First up is Nazca Lines, one of Peru's biggest mysteries. The Nazca Lines are massive drawings that cover the Nazca Desert, and no one really knows why they were made. These drawings contain giant shapes of animals, plants, and geometric patterns. Some of them are over 1,000 feet long. They've been sitting there for more than 1,500 years. They were created by the ancient Nazca people, but no one's 100% sure what they were used for. The best way to see the Nazca Lines is from above. You can hop on a small plane for a bird's eye view, and it's honestly worth it because the scale of these drawings is mind-boggling. If you're into exploring further, check out the Palpu Lines, which are nearby. They were created by an even earlier civilization and have some unique designs, like a star-shaped mandala. These sites are perfect for anyone who loves history and wants to see something truly unforgettable. Pictures don't do justice to how mind-blowing these sites are in person. The Chachapoyas province in Peru is a hidden gem that most travelers overlook. The region is home to Cuelap, known by some as the Machu Picchu of the North. It's an ancient fortress built by the Chachapoya civilization, who were also called the Warriors of the Clouds. Not as many people visit this place, which makes it feel even more special. The stone walls are massive, and inside the fortress you'll see the remains of circular houses and carvings that are over 1,000 years old. Honestly, the views from up there are incredible. It's surrounded by lush mountains and clouds that seem almost magical. While you're in the area, do not miss the Gokta waterfall. It's one of the tallest waterfalls in the world, standing at over 770 meters high. You get to hike through beautiful jungle scenery to get there, which adds to the unreal natural beauty. It's less crowded than other spots in Peru and gives you a chance to experience something truly unique. Chachapoyas is definitely worth visiting if you want to explore more of Peru's hidden gems. It's a mix of history, nature, and incredible views that will blow your mind. Next, let's talk about Colco Canyon, one of the most amazing spots in Peru. It's actually one of the deepest canyons in the world, about twice as deep as the Grand Canyon. The views here are breathtaking, with rugged cliffs, winding rivers, and greenery that stretches for miles. There are also small villages scattered around the area, where you can see how locals have lived here for centuries. The hidden highlight of Colco Canyon are the Andean condors. These massive birds are one of the largest flying birds in the world, with wingspans that can reach up to 10 feet. This is one of the best places in Peru to see them in the wild. Early in the morning, they soar so close above the canyon walls that you can actually hear the wind from their wings. It's unreal. If you love hiking, there are trails that take you deeper into the canyon. Or you can stick to viewpoints like Cruz del Condor, which is a top spot for condor sightings. The next unique adventure I'm going to take you on is to Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca is the highest navigable lake in the world, sitting at over 12,500 feet above sea level. The views here are incredible, with deep blue water surrounded by rolling hills and mountains. One highlight of Lake Titicaca has to be the floating Urosalons. These islands are completely man-made, built from layers of totoro reeds that grow in the lake. People have actually been living on these islands for hundreds of years, and when you visit, you can learn all about how they build and maintain them. The locals are super welcoming, and it's such a cool experience to see this way of life up close. Lake Titicaca is a must-see. I would be doing all of you an injustice if I didn't spend at least a couple of minutes talking about the Peruvian food and drinks. Let's start with ceviche, which is basically Peru's national dish. It's made with fresh fish, marinated in lime juice, and mixed with chili, onions, and cilantro. It's super refreshing, has a nice little kick, and is perfect for lunch, especially on a hot day. You'll find it everywhere, but Lima is usually considered the best place to try it. Now here's one that might surprise you. Cuy. Yep, guinea pig. It's a traditional Andean dish that's been eaten for centuries, and while it might sound a little strange if you're not used to it, locals love it. It's usually roasted or fried, and it's said to taste a bit like rabbit or chicken. You'll see it served whole, often with potatoes or corn. If you eat meat, cuy is 100% worth trying at least once in order to get a real taste of Andean culture. The Peruvian drinks are just as much part of the experience of Peru as the food is. First up is the Pisco Sour, Peru's most famous cocktail. It's made with pisco, which is a grape brandy, mixed with lime juice, simple syrup, egg white, and a dash of bitters. The result is a tangy, smooth, and slightly frothy drink that's super refreshing. You'll find it on almost every menu in Peru, and it pairs perfectly with just about any meal. If cocktails aren't your thing, there's chichu morada, a non-alcoholic drink made from purple corn. It's boiled with pineapple, cinnamon, and cloves to create this sweet, fruity drink with a bit of spice. Not only is it super refreshing, but it's also packed with antioxidants, so it's healthy too. You'll find it at restaurants, markets, and sold by street vendors. Now, where in Peru can you find these delicious Peruvian specials? The answer is, unequivocally, Lima. Not just the capital of Peru, it's considered by many to be the culinary capital of South America. The city is home to world-famous, award-winning restaurants like Central, which has been ranked one of the best in the world. Places like this are perfect if you're into fancy dining experiences with unique, locally sourced ingredients. Even if you're not usually into upscale restaurants, it's worth treating yourself here at least once. But you don't even have to spend a ton of money to eat well in Lima. The street food scene is buzzing. You've got options like anticuchos, which are grilled meat skewers, empanados, or butifarras, which are sandwiches with Peruvian ham. One that I think you must try is the chaufu, which is Peruvian fried rice, a delicious mix of Asian and local influences. Lima's food scene is amazing for all kinds of travelers. Trust me, you'll want to come here hungry. To finish, here are some essential travel tips for planning your life-changing trip to Peru. The country has different climates depending on where you're going. If you're into hiking or visiting places like Machu Picchu, the dry season from June to August is your best bet. The skies are clear, the trails are easy to walk, and the views in the mountains are stunning. Just keep in mind, this is also the busiest time, so book your tickets and accommodations early. If you're more into beaches and want some sun, head to the coast between December and March. That's the summer season in Peru, so it's warm and perfect for relaxing on the beach or even surfing up north in places like Mancoro. For fewer crowds and a more chill experience, consider the shoulder seasons, March to May or September to November. You'll still get decent weather in most parts of the country, and things are usually less hectic and more affordable during these months. The best time to visit really depends on what you're looking for, but planning around these seasons can make all the difference in your trip. The great news about budgeting for Peru is that it is super affordable. If you're thoughtful, you can get by on less than $50 a day. Stay in hostels or budget hotels, eat at local restaurants, and use buses for transport. If you want to splurge on things like high-end dining or luxury train rides, you can. But overall, Peru offers great value. Packing is where you should think strategically because the weather can be inconsistent depending on where you are. My biggest tip for you is to pack in layers. If you're in the mountains, mornings and evenings can be cold, but the afternoons warm up significantly under the sun. Have a light jacket, sweaters, and base layers you can add or take off as needed. You might want to bring waterproof gear, like a rain jacket or poncho, especially during the rainy season. And don't forget comfortable shoes. Whether you're hiking in the Andes or just exploring the neighborhoods of Lima, your feet will thank you. When you're traveling to Peru, you do not have to be fluent in Spanish, but knowing simple words and phrases can really help you connect with locals and make your trip more magical. People in Peru are super friendly. A small effort to speak their language goes a long way. It's also really important to respect the local customs and traditions. Peru is incredibly diverse, with many unique cultures across the country. For example, in the Andes, a lot of people still speak Quechua, the language of the Incas. And in the south, near Lake Titicaca, you'll find the Aymara community. And let's not forget the Amazonian tribes, who have their own languages and traditions that have been passed down for generations. Learning about and respecting these cultures not only makes your trip more meaningful, but also shows appreciation for the people and their heritage. Be open, be respectful, and embrace the cultural diversity that makes Peru so special. It will make your experience unforgettable. So that's a wrap on Peru. From the ancient wonders of Machu Picchu and the Inca Trail, to the colorful Rainbow Mountain, the tranquil Sacred Valley, and the breathtaking Colcu Canyon, there's just so much to see and do. Not to mention exploring the mystery of the Nazca Lines, the unique cultures around Lake Titicaca, and indulging in amazing Peruvian food and drinks, like ceviche and a pisco sour. Whether you're here for the history, the nature, or just to eat your way through the country, Peru has something for everyone. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Out of all these incredible spots, which one would you visit first? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more travel tips and guides. Oh, and if you're planning your Peru trip, all the destinations we talked about are available to explore on viator.com. There's specific links in the description to help you get started. It helps the channel out a lot. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.